Look very carefully at this plant. If you saw it in a garden, you might walk right past it without thinking twice. At first glance, it doesn't look important. It resembles a small clover, maybe just another creeping plant spreading quietly across the soil. Soft green leaves, gentle stems hugging the ground. No bold fruits, no dramatic flowers, no obvious reason to pay attention. But what if I told you everything valuable about this plant is hidden beneath the soil? Because underground, this simple-looking plant produces small, brightly colored tubers. Yellow, pink, red, orange, even deep purple. Like tiny jewels buried out of sight. This plant is called oca, an ancient crop from the Andes Mountains of South America. And here's the strange part. Most people have never heard of it.
Before we go deeper, if you enjoy discovering rare crops like this and learning how to grow them the right way, make sure you subscribe to Golden Roots Living and like this video. It helps more people find content like this, and you won't miss what's coming next. Now, oca is not a potato, and it's definitely not a sweet potato. It belongs to the oxalis family, the same family as those slightly sour plants you may have seen growing wild. But unlike those, oca is grown for one reason. It's edible underground tubers. In some places, people call it New Zealand yam, even though it's not actually a yam at all. So here's the real question. Why is something so beautiful, edible, and unique still so unknown? The answer is simple, but most people don't realize it. Oca doesn't rush. We live in a world where everything is fast. Fast food, fast results, fast harvests. Most crops are predictable. Plant them, wait a few weeks, harvest. But oca, it follows a completely different rhythm. And this is where many beginners get it wrong. They plant it, they care for it, they watch it grow strong and green. Then they dig it up too early. And what do they find? Almost nothing. Just a few tiny tubers. So they assume the plant failed. But the truth is, the plant didn't fail. They just didn't understand it.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever worked on something for a long time, only to feel like nothing was happening? That's exactly how oca grows. Quietly, patiently, building everything underground where you can't see it. Because oca saves its real effort for the end of the season. Throughout most of the growing period, it simply spreads across the soil, collecting energy, growing leaves, preparing. Then, when the days begin to get shorter, that's when it finally starts producing its tubers properly. That's when everything changes. If you want to grow oca successfully, you have to understand this one thing. Timing is everything. Plant it after the danger of frost has passed. Give it loose, well-drained soil. Not compact, not waterlogged. Think of the soil like a soft cushion, something the tubers can expand into easily. Keep the moisture steady, but never excessive. Too much water in cold soil can destroy the crop before it even begins. As the plant grows, you can gently mound soil around the base, just like potatoes. But don't overdo it. You're protecting the plant, not burying it. Now, here's something many people don't expect. Oca can actually be grown in containers, and in some situations, that's even better. Because when the weather starts turning cold, you can move the plant to a safer location. That extra time can make a huge difference in your harvest, especially in places where the season ends quickly.
Now, imagine this moment. You've waited patiently all season. The leaves begin to fade as the weather cools. The garden starts to look tired, and you decide it's finally time to harvest. You dig carefully into the soil, not too close to the base, slowly loosening the earth. And then you see it. A flash of color, then another, and another. Small, smooth, shining tubers begin to appear.
Yellow, red, pink, white. Each one slightly different. Each one hidden all along. Let me ask you, which would excite you more? A single big harvest? Or discovering dozens of small, colorful treasures like this? And the flavor? That's another surprise. When eaten raw, oca can be crisp and slightly tangy, almost like a gentle lemon taste. But once cooked, it transforms. Softer, richer, more comforting. You can roast it, boil it, fry it, or add it to soups. Some people even leave it in sunlight briefly after harvest to reduce the sourness and bring out more sweetness.
But there's something important you should know. Because oca belongs to the oxalis family, it contains oxalates. For most people, this simply means one thing: enjoy it in moderation, especially if you're sensitive to foods high in oxalates. It's not something to fear, just something to understand. And maybe that's the deeper lesson of this plant. Oca is not just food, it's a reminder. In today's world, we focus on the most common crops: potatoes, carrots, a few familiar vegetables. But long ago, people grew many different types of tubers. Some adapted to mountains. Some survived harsh climates. Some had flavors we've almost forgotten. Oca is one of those plants. When you grow it, you're not just planting food. You're preserving history. You're keeping something alive that might otherwise be forgotten. And more importantly, you're learning to slow down, to observe, to trust a process you can't fully see. Because while everything else in the garden finished, when the season begins to fade and the garden looks almost finished, that's when you dig. Carefully, gently. Because beneath that simple plant is a hidden harvest waiting to surprise you. If you've ever grown oca before, I want to hear from you. Did it meet your expectations the first time? And if you're just discovering it now, would you actually try growing it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe to Golden Roots Living and check out the next video on your screen. Because sometimes the most valuable things in the garden are the ones you never notice at first.